In today's Leeds news, Matteo Joseph speaks out. Meslier Lorient talks. Demirovic linked. Leeds closing in on Okafor signing. And James Justin latest. Morning folks, welcome back to The View. Monday morning, the 18th of August, and the season kicks off tonight for Leeds United up against Everton, first game of the Premier League. Looking forward to this, I'm excited, I'm sure everybody else is as well. If you want to follow us over on bigup.com for the watch along tonight, we'll be getting stuck in there around about 7:30, 7:45. Information on bigup.com is down below. It's free, it's easy to join, and there's no adverts during the whole thing. So if you want some company watching the game tonight, you can join me over there later on. There is some news to get stuck in this morning. It's been a busy weekend of transfer activity, or at least transfer interest on the ground for Leeds United, and we'll crack on today and we'll start off with a player not on the transfer stuff but who has left Leeds and is having a bit of a chat about his time at the club, and that's Matteo Joseph. And after completing his loan move to Real Mallorca last week, Matteo Joseph, in his goodbye message to Leeds United fans, said that he would tell his side of the story soon. Well, it didn't take him too long to get to that, and Matteo Joseph, in his latest ill-advised move, has done a piece with The Athletic, and he didn't hold back. In the piece, Joseph says that he was undervalued and sidelined during crucial moments, and that he didn't feel the manager had confidence in him. The reality of this situation is that Matteo Joseph is a 21-year-old striker, and at this age he should be learning his trade. And he was the backup option to the striker who finished as the top goal scorer in the Championship last season. So to say that he was sidelined during crucial moments is a little bit of a stretch. In the Athletic piece, Matteo Joseph had the following to say: "I felt uncomfortable and undervalued, particularly when I was sidelined at crucial moments. Despite helping Leeds secure promotion last season, I didn't feel confidence from the manager. There are situations that haven't been easy, and sometimes not everything depends on you. I leave motivated and thankful, knowing that this is just another step in the journey." Sometimes not everything depends on you, but I think Matteo Joseph is trying to dismiss responsibility for performances last season as well. I have backed Matteo Joseph continuously last season and was looking forward to him going out on loan and getting some minutes and coming back to Leeds as a very strong striker for Leeds United. However, along with his goodbye message and this interview, it seems very apparent to me that Matteo Joseph possibly has no intentions of ever returning to Leeds United, and he seems to have a little bit of entitlement around the situation, and maybe even a little bit of main character syndrome. At 21 years of age, he played 39 games in a breakout season last year and scored 3 goals, which most players of that age would be very happy with. Matteo Joseph also, when he played for the England under-20 elite squad, seemed to want the shortcut into a first team and switched allegiances to the Spanish national side at that point. And he's now swapped Leeds for a move to Real Mallorca instead of trying to fight for a place in a Premier League side. So at this point, I think Matteo Joseph is continuing to take really bad advice, and at this point he will have to return to Leeds in 12 months time, and he will have to face the music on the comments that he continues to make since he moved away from Leeds United this summer. But we'll move on and talk about Illan Meslier. And last week we covered that Illan Meslier was being offered around to clubs in Europe for around about £5 to £6 million, and his agent was trying to drum up some level of interest in the player. We did say though that at that point the most logical move for Illan Meslier was a return to French side Lorient, where he started his career, and over the weekend news has come out to state that that looks like the right place, alright. Leeds United and Lorient have held talks around the move for Illan Meslier. According to Sasha Tavaleri, Lorient have made contact with Leeds United to inquire about the terms of a deal for the goalkeeper. The League One side would give Illan Meslier an opportunity to kickstart his career and restart in a very familiar environment in the place that got him his first big move to England in the first place. Tavaleri says that Lorient are interested and are in talks with Leeds United around terms of a move. And Meslier, currently Leeds United's third choice goalkeeper, are not expected to be involved in the action tonight at all. Lost his squad number last week, and this move could now pick up and be completed relatively quickly. Reports of a move to Lille or PSG interest in the player at this point are said to be false, and any reports to the contrary are said to be wide of the mark. Meslier does need to restart his career. He can't afford to hang around too long. Leeds are looking for £5 to £6 million, which would give Leeds a decent PSR operating profit on the player. So we'll see where that one goes. But as of right now, you would imagine that's the most likely destination and the best destination to head home, reevaluate himself and kickstart his career again. I do believe that Illan Meslier will move on to be a very good goalkeeper in his career, as previous goalkeepers who struggled at Leeds had decent careers after they left the club as well. So we'll wish him the best if that does happen, but we'll see how it goes over the next couple of weeks. Let's move on. Let's talk about a transfer link. And this one does fall into the pinch of salt territory right now, but as it's gone very quiet very quickly on this situation. But over the weekend, reports emerged that Leeds United were said to have some level of interest in Stuttgart striker Ermedi Demirovic. The Bosnian striker is very highly rated, scored 17 goals last season, and kicker in Germany claim that Demirovic is unhappy and seeking a move away from the Bundesliga. However, Stuttgart have slapped a €40 million price tag on his head, so about £37.5 million. Daniel Farke said last week that he wanted an additional striker to Dominic Calvert-Lewin after his arrival, and Demirovic would offer a very, very strong and highly rated striker should there be any truth to this story. Leeds are said to be interested at this point, but there is top level interest also in Demirovic, so we'll have to wait and see what happens with this one. But it has gone very quiet very quickly on this link, as I say, and that could be a very good thing or it could be a very bad thing. Fabrizio Romano even commenting recently that Leeds United have gone very quiet in the background, so maybe they're trying to finalise their last couple of deals, and maybe it's got something to do with our next story and the main story of today, and that is the move for Noah Okafor. Last week we shared the story that Leeds United were in the hunt for Noah Okafor, and I don't normally do ITK stuff because I'm not a journalist and I'm not ITK, but we did get some detail last week that stated that Okafor liked the move to Leeds United, liked the project that Leeds were putting forward, and had held talks with two other Premier League sides as well as Saudi Pro League interest. This morning, the deal appears to be getting closer and closer to a completion, and late last night, Italian journalist Luca Bianchin tweeted the following: Leeds have reached an agreement on the contract with Noah Okafor. Negotiations are accelerating and Leeds aim to finalise a permanent deal. Milan have not yet said yes and are considering. Okafor was on the bench last night for AC Milan, did come off the bench towards the back end of their game against Bari. But this morning we have another update from Fabrizio Romano, who's tweeted the following: Leeds United are close to signing Noah Okafor from AC Milan. Understood proposal worth over €20 million has been submitted today. Contract until 2029 with an option until 2030. Final green light up to Okafor, then deal can be done, with Leeds coach Daniel Farke pushing a lot. We shared last week that Farke had spoken and been seen speaking to Noah Okafor on the pitch after the game in Dublin, and they did hold talks with his representatives last week as well. There are those that at this point will now turn and point to his injury record over the last couple of seasons, but Okafor has played 24 Champions League games and has scored 6 goals in the Champions League against decent level opposition as well. He scored against Manchester United and he scored against Chelsea as well. He also added 2 assists in those games. Leeds wouldn't even be in the conversation for a player who had the potential that Noah Okafor had before he moved to AC Milan, unless there had been some issues along the line. But it should be pointed out to balance this argument out that Noah Okafor has a full pre-season behind his belt, was excellent against Leeds in the game in Dublin, and not that long ago, only a few weeks back, the Italian media were very high on Okafor's performances for Milan so far this pre-season. I know it's pre-season, you can't read too much into it, but it is an indication of where the player's fitness levels are and where he is in this current moment in time. The only step now in this deal is for Okafor himself to agree to the move, and as we gave you the information last week, the player was said to be open to a move to Leeds United. The other 2 club Premier League sides he has said to have spoken to were Nottingham Forest and Newcastle, again as well as the Saudi Pro League interest, and we'll have to wait and see if this move does move forward. One of the big issues for Okafor in Italy has been that he's been predominantly played as a striker and he doesn't see himself as a striker, and during his best spells at Red Bull he operated on the left hand side, coming inside and getting shots and assists, which is exactly what Leeds United are looking to try and box off in that left sided position. It's a decent price for about £18 million, £17.5, £18 million should Leeds be able to get this deal done. But for me personally, you can watch him, you can see him. I've watched an awful lot of Noah Okafor. I think he's a very exciting player. Yeah, he's had a couple of injuries. A lot of them were just knocks, to be fair, last season. And he wasn't the first choice behind Rafael Leao. So there's good competition in that AC Milan side as well. But for me, personally, I think it would be a very solid signing for Leeds United to bring in a very attack-minded player and would give Leeds a little bit of flair in that final third. Let's move on to the final story of today, and it's an update on the James Justin situation. In the last week, we all heard the talks that Leeds United were in advanced talks to try and secure a signing for Leicester fullback and captain James Justin. He started the game this weekend again, and after being on the receiving end of an incredibly tough tackle, it appeared that this move could be done and dusted and off the table as he was substituted with an injury. However, according to reports over the weekend, the injury isn't as bad as initially thought and is now believed to possibly just be a dead leg, which, if is the case, won't prevent a move and he should be fine pretty much by the weekend. Reports claim that talks are ongoing, and no doubt Leeds' medical team will want to have a look at that dead leg just to verify that it is a dead leg and nothing slightly more sinister than that. Leeds have also been mentioned with interest in Maitland-Niles as a potential backup option should this deal fall through. But there's very little information on that at this point on the ground. We'll see if Leeds can complete this move. We'll see if he is okay. It's a strange situation. Leicester have two players that are both looking at moving away from the club. Bilal El Khanous, although reports the weekend now suggest that there wasn't a release clause and that player isn't going to be going anywhere, at least right now, with Crystal Palace's £20 million bid rejected for him on Saturday. James Justin was the other one in that. Both players started. Justin has captained Leicester in their opening games this season, and they would like to hang on to him. He's got 1 year left on his deal, so you would imagine if Leeds can reach an agreement, if the player is fit and healthy and raring to go, this one will get over the line pretty quickly, and we'll see how that one goes over the next 48 hours or so, which I would imagine will be the time frame to get this one done. Right, folks, that'll be it for me today on the news. Massive thanks as always for supporting the channel. You can check us out on bigup.com tonight between 7:30 7:45 for a watch along for Leeds United versus Everton in the first Premier League game of the season. Some updates on the platform as well as a potential new plug-in being added to the site around fantasy football as well, our weekly fantasy football, so you can come and check that out if you want to. I'll talk to you later on tonight. Enjoy the rest of your day and fingers crossed for 3 points tonight. See you later. Bye.